morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Charlie State and Naga Munchetty.
Our headlines today. Good morning, it's Friday the 19th of March. Our top story today, the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine rollout will resume in some European countries today after regulators found no evidence it causes blood clots.
The Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, will receive the jab later and has assured the public it is safe. More than a dozen countries had paused their delivery of the jab. Here's more from our health correspondent, Catherine De Costa. Scotland's First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, is facing calls to resign because a committee of MSPs concluded that she misled them in their inquiry into the handling of harassment claims against her predecessor, Alex Salmond.
It's understood they voted 5-4 that she gave them an inaccurate account when she answered their questions 2 weeks ago. The First Minister says she stands by what she said. Our political correspondent, Nick Eardley, has this report.
Olivia Colman. These are amongst the stars taking part in tonight's socially distant comic relief.
The stars will be performing tonight on BBC One, raising money to tackle hunger, homelessness, domestic abuse and mental health stigma. Our entertainment correspondent, Colin Patterson, has been finding out what's in tonight's show. All coming up tonight on BBC One.
Let's talk to Matt, who's going to bring us some sunshine and some rather remarkable temperatures for yesterday, at least. At least you can promise that. I saw you wince. I'm not asking you to promise it today. Gorgeous there. Is that Edinburgh behind you?
It is.
Temperatures, isn't there?
Unbelievable. That's
Absolutely right, Matt. As usual. See you later.
Thanks, Matt. 11 minutes past 7 is the time now. So the jab is safe. The thing that isn't safe is catching COVID. That was the message from the Prime Minister yesterday after regulations confirming the AstraZeneca vaccine did not increase the risk of blood clots.
So more than a dozen countries had stopped giving the AstraZeneca vaccine. Today, some of Europe's leading states will restart their rollout of the jab.
Let's get more now.
24 minutes past 7 is the time. 60 years to the day that one of Britain's greatest ever sports cars was officially launched, the Jaguar E-Type.
It became synonymous with the swinging 60s and remains popular to this day. Phil Mackey has been behind the wheel of the first one ever sold. That was back in 1961. It is, I don't think you have to be somebody who's over-enthusiastic about cars to recognise that is like a thing of beauty, isn't it? It's like it is like a work of art in itself.
Really lovely lines.
Very beautiful.
Coming up on today's programme.
Right now it's time to get the news, the travel and the weather where you are.
Hello, you're watching Breakfast with Charlie State and Naga Munchetty.
Time now at 7:30. So the French capital, Paris, is to go into a month-long lockdown as the country fears a third wave.
Now, France has recorded 35,000 infections in 24 hours. The Prime Minister has announced a number of new coronavirus restrictions, though he stressed they won't be as strict as previous measures. Tanya Dendrinos has more.
See, time now is 7:37. The pandemic has brought us many stories of how people have coped with extremely difficult situations, and this next story is definitely one of those.
Now, when Chelsea Richardson's mother, Sarah, died from coronavirus in October, her world was turned upside down. The 21-year-old was faced with her own grief and the responsibility of looking after her 4 siblings. Heidi Tomlinson has been to meet her. Chelsea was talking to Heidi Tomlinson in that report, and the fact that she is training to be a nurse as well and looking after her brothers and sisters. Good luck, Chelsea.
There's a lot to think about. I'm just, you know, of course, Mum would be proud, but the other thing I was thinking was, Neil, it was the greengrocer, wasn't it? He said, put things in perspective.
Exactly.
So, yes, a remarkable young lady.
19 minutes to 8 is the time. Mike, more.
Matt, I asked this question with a tiny degree of trepidation. Are you a Monty Don fan? Because the good news is he's with us a little later on this morning.
anything that
I'm with you. Cactus. I have a cactus and orchids. They're the only things that ever stay alive in my house. They're safe.
Just before 9 o'clock, 10 to 9 this morning, Monty Don would chat to us.
There you go, Matt.
Brilliant.
You can tune into
I'll
that.
be tuning in.
Thanks, Matt.
It is 10 to 8 though now. From Primal Scream to Oasis, Creation Records was responsible for some of the signature sounds of the 90s. The indie label began with just a £1,000 loan. It went on to sign some of the decade's biggest acts.
So now, 25 years on, the story of the label and its founder, Alan McKee, is being told in a new film released this weekend. Our entertainment correspondent, Lisa Mazimba, has this report. Let's take you right back, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? If your thoughts maybe are turning to spring cleaning, probably reaching for the bleach and furniture polish, how about an alternative? Have you thought about using bread or milk instead?
That is some of the advice from English Heritage, who say that some historic house cleaning techniques could be more effective than those we're using today.
We're joined now by Amber Zentiu.
Morning.
Morning. So, come on, surprise us this morning with some of the tips and how this discovery has come about. One of the reasons is it really smells when you've cleaned it.
No, we tried it.
These things will be less relevant to the private home than others. But so let's talk about oil paintings, because there's a possibility that using a freshly cut slice of potato could be useful. Do you want to talk us through that one? There you go. Didn't know that before. Jackie's got in touch, just talking about saying fresh lemons. She swears by fresh lemons for cleaning stubborn stains in a number of different places. Also vinegar. A lot of people talking about vinegar.
Really? Thank you so much for talking about that this morning. Amber Xavier, who's the head of collections conservation at English Heritage. Thank you.
Do you remember that phrase, if you're in trouble and you said something you shouldn't, and someone would say you should clean your mouth out with soap
and water.
And people literally used to do that.
I know. Did it happen?
It had happened.
When you were naughty?
Certainly used to happen. Not recommended in any shape or form.
No, absolutely not. Headlines are coming up.